regional separations like the Southwest, the Pacific Northwest, the Northwest, the West Coast. The West is very diverse internally and in comparison to the rest of the United States. We have the highest minority populations, 25% Hispanic, mainly people from Mexico, and 12% Asian. And those populations very much influence the cultures of the states where they are heavily populated in. We also have the only 4 states in the nation that Caucasians are a minority. In terms of diversity of the people within the West, we have the activists of California, specifically in San Francisco, the family value-oriented people of Utah due to the high population of Mormons, the environmentally friendly populations in Oregon, specifically from Portland, and the very conservative populations that live in all the agricultural areas and whose values are very similar to the ones that Sarah mentioned of the Midwest. But we're also very liberal in terms of the progressive laws that we've passed. So the laws that have made more headlines than others will be that we have physician-assisted suicide is legal in 2 states, gambling is legal in some ways in every state but one, legalized marijuana use for medicinal marijuana use, sorry about that. California's trying to pass it, maybe in a couple years, and prostitution in Nevada. Here's the land, or North America, so you can kind of see that most of the land is separated into the West Coast. We have over half the land mass of the United States, primarily because of the size of Alaska. But this is also a population density map, so you'll notice that the white and the yellow is the least populated, and the dark blue is the most densely populated. So the West Coast is very different from the other regions in the United States due to population densities. Most of the population in the West is concentrated in just under 20 metropolitan areas. One of the unique distinguishing factors of the West Coast is that 55% of the land is owned by the United States federal government. This is compared to the rest of the United States, which is about 3% and less than 0.02% in some states. This is due to the conservation effort that hit the United States before the West was developed. So most of this land is managed by 3 different national agencies, the National Park Service being one of the largest. They are in charge of keeping the land safe for and sustained for the American people and all tourists to enjoy, which means that we have beautiful national parks on the West Coast that are available for you to go visit. And so I'm going to go through some of our most beautiful national parks. And I think part of the outdoorsy attitude that really encompasses a lot of the people who live in the West is due to the fact that these beautiful places are literally within an hour of most of our homes. So there's a lot of hiking and surfing, biking, mountain biking, and other outdoor activities that really encompass the everyday life, or at least the weekend life of a lot of people who live in the West. The economy is traditionally, most of the states have the 3 different industries. Mining, agriculture, and tourism make up the majority, but technology in the service sector has, of course, gained a lot of interest over the last 50 years. So the reason people moved west was traditionally for mining. The California Gold Rush had 2 California Gold Rushes, brought out lots of different pioneers. The Alaska pipeline in Alaska is so successful that the Alaskans are actually paid to live in Alaska every year. They get $2,500 back and they don't pay state taxes. Agriculture is, of course, one of our big industries, but it's really not exciting. And tourism became really big in the 1950s when Western businessmen stepped up trying to get tourists and people to come to the West Coast. And here's a list of all of the companies headquartered on the West Coast. I want to point out that 4 of the top 10 places to do business and to be in business on the Forbes 2010 list are in the West Coast. Utah is number 1, and Oregon, Washington, and Colorado round out 4, 5, and 6. And just in case you didn't get the idea, here are some more pictures and reasons that you should all come to the West Coast very soon and come enjoy the beauty that we have to offer. Keep going. But before we begin, we need to give a special thanks to Simon Says for putting together the video that we're about to see in a couple minutes, and to SimonUnited for keeping all of us on track so that we actually did this for you today. So, can you please